Hello everyone, good morning. How are you guys doing today? Can you guys hear me loud and clear? Let me know in the chat if you can hear me loud and clear. Thank you for letting me know. So today I'll start with NASDAQ US100 and I'm on hourly chart. In my bias session, I showed you guys my targets, and the target was order block mean threshold, monthly order block mean threshold, and we are inside of this BPR, weekly BPR. This price action that you are seeing right now is inside of this balanced price range on weekly chart. Okay, and then from monthly chart we have an order block resting inside this weekly BPR, and plus we have our monthly order block mean threshold. So what I want to see on NASDAQ is going to be something like price coming all the way up, hitting the mean threshold inside the BPR, and then dropping as it generated trend line liquidity right here. Okay, and on 4-hour chart we have this beautiful unfilled fair value gap. Below that we have this hourly BC that is unfilled. Okay, in my last live stream I showed you guys that was my target, this gap, this 4-hour fair value gap, and then inside this 4-hour fair value gap I gave you guys another target, this unfilled small fair value gap on hourly chart. Price filled it. I wanted to see price diving a little bit deeper, like filling this fair value gap or hitting this fair value gap and then moving towards the buy side, but it didn't happen. Price generated relative equal lows down here, left this fair value gap unfilled. So what I think and believe, and my analysis is suggesting me, is that we will see price revisiting this area near in future. Okay, and we will know when price wanna do that. For now I wanna see price visiting order block mean threshold and then showing us willingness to go towards the sell side. Okay, if price is taking out this sell side liquidity first, okay, this trend line liquidity that you see right here is way more visible on 50-minute chart. Okay, so this is the liquidity levels that I'm talking about, trend line liquidity. As you can see here, below each of these candles low we have a strong level of liquidity. So I want to see price clearing these liquidity levels out. So if price is doing it first, like NFP, from my experience I found that it's a two-stage move. So if the false move, the Judas, is happening towards the sell side, then the second move will happen towards the buy side liquidity, as we have this order block mean threshold untouched, but at the same time price hit our weekly BPR, then hourly fair value gap, which is CB, hourly CB. If I take you guys into the hourly chart, you will see it is so this is the fair value gap I'm talking about. It's on 8th April 2022. So if you want to check it, you can check it there. I guess you won't see it if you don't have a premium subscription on Telegram, because they require that. Anyway, that's the fair value gap that I'm talking about, which aligns with the mean threshold of the order block, and we already saw rejection from this fair value gap. I want to see another rejection from this fair value gap, and I want to see price respecting it, not going above it. If it's going, then I want to see price hitting the mean threshold, this red line that you see. That's our monthly mean threshold. So that's my whole perspective, my analysis on NASDAQ. Let's look at US30. On US30, as you can see, price generated relative equal lows below here, but we are yet to reach down below here. Price already provided sell side liquidity a couple of times, so I think price is efficient towards delivering sell side liquidity. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna target buy side liquidity. I wanna see price providing liquidity towards the buy side at 8:30 news. Okay, we have relative equal highs here, swing high, then another swing high which is relatively equal to this high, then this high, which is relatively equal to this high. So a lot of relative equal highs, and we have a daily BPR which is unfilled, right? We know that BPR is a gigantic pool of liquidity, and I don't know if price is gonna reach straight here like in the NFP move. It can, but it may not. So we can target this BPR after price delivers the NFP move. If not, if price is rejecting, suppose from the fair value gap here or the new week opening gap that I outlined here, then we can look for shorts by targeting these relative equal lows right here. Other than that, I'm expecting to see bullish price action, which will target this BPR here. Okay, a fair value gap here, then a fair value gap here. It's a balanced price range, and that becomes a gigantic pool of liquidity. Once price taps into this fair value gap, this BPR, then very likely it tends to reverse. Okay, from my experience, I saw it, and we have relative equal highs here. So suppose price is coming all the way up, providing liquidity here, then an ideal scenario for us to expect a reversal would be from this BPR, from this daily BPR on US30. So keep watching how price delivers. And the reason for me to expect bullish price action is because of these relative equal highs, right? The first relative equal high the price generated was on May 3rd. Then it kept generating relative equal highs throughout the whole month of May. It was just consolidating inside this dealing range from this high to this low. What do you see? Price didn't took out this high, didn't deliver this low. It was just manipulating, consolidating inside this range. So there wasn't like much high probability setup, but we traded, we made profits inside this range. Now price get out of this range and cleared out the relative equal lows that was resting below these lows here. So that's how I know that price efficiently provided sell side liquidity. And where is it inefficient? It's inefficient towards some buy side liquidity. Okay, we have unfilled fair value gaps, like I showed you guys on the daily chart. We have a BPR, daily BPR. Then we also do have these relative equal highs. So that's what I want to see price clearing out. That's my whole bias. I hope you understood like what I'm talking to you is, I think it's clear, right? My bias, the way I decide my bias, I think is pretty clear and simple compared to other ICT traders. And we have a new week opening gap here. Okay, so I'm not expecting to see at NFP move price coming all the way down, clearing out this relative equal low, and then going towards the buy side. I want to see price delivering buy side liquidity aggressively. Okay, if price is coming all the way below, okay, we do have relative equal lows down here, trend line liquidity is resting here, but if price is coming all the way down here, it will also be going below this new week opening gap. Just as I teach you guys to watch breaker block, once price closes a candle's body above or below the breaker block, that's when we know that this breaker block is activated. The same concept applies in new week opening gap. What do you see here? The mean threshold of our new week opening gap is here. Okay, the consequent encroachment, the mean threshold, the midway, whatever you want to say, they all mean the same thing. Okay, so our midway is here. And what do you see? Price close the candle's body above the midway, right? Then look at the next candle, how price retested the midway of this new week opening gap. Then the very next candles, okay, they worked as order block. They provide a support for price towards the buy side liquidity. And right now, what you were seeing right now is price rejecting from this new week opening gap. So if price is coming all the way down and going below the mean threshold or the midway of this new week opening gap, then what I believe is like we are bearish. Price will hunt relative equal lows below here. If not, we have this unfilled fair value gap, so price may just come down, right, hit the discount level in this fair value gap and then move towards the buy side liquidity. If price is not respecting this fair value gap, okay, this is gonna be our last line of defense to expect bullish price action at NFP. Okay, quote my word, I'm saying at NFP. I'll have a different analysis after price delivers the NFP movement. What I'm sharing right now is basically I'm predicting the NFP price action. So this is the fair value gap which aligns, which is below the midway. So according to the measurement of this new week opening gap, our premium is here, discount is here, which is below the midway of this new week opening gap. Okay, so I'm just gonna mark this fair value gap which is in discount according to the measurement of new week opening gap. Price sees new week opening gap, new day opening gap, fair value gap as premium and discount PD area. Okay, so this is our BC which is at discount. So this is gonna be our last line of defense. Keep in mind we are inside of this new week opening gap. I'm just gonna hide it, I don't need it. I know the price is inside this new week opening gap. This is in discount for price according to the measurement of new week opening gap, and we are expecting higher bullish price action. Okay, is it clear, folks? Theo is saying bonjour. Bonjour Theo, comment ça va? Someone is asking what are those indicators for a new week opening gap? It would be easier than to draw it. Yes, the indicator that I'm using, it's this indicator, new week opening gap, new day opening gap from Kryptonite. So yeah, you can look into it. It's pretty useful. Okay, so the reason I marked this 4-hour fair value gap is because price can reverse and take out short-term sell side liquidity after it hits this CB. Okay, that's what I'm not expecting, but it's possible. That's why I marked it, this 4-hour fair value gap. What I'm expecting to see a high probability scenario would be price coming all the way up, clearing out liquidity, hitting the daily BPR, and then consolidating or just become slow and range bound. So it can do that, but I'm expecting it after price hits and clears out these relative equal highs. Okay, let's talk about dollar. I'm just avoiding dollar for last couple of days because as you can see, dollar is in a seek and destroy mode. Okay, it's just going up, taking out buy side liquidity, then coming below, generating relative equal lows, going up, offering buy side liquidity, then dropping, generating relative equal lows. So I'm personally a relative equal high, relative equal low trader. What do I mean by that? I like to target double bottom, double top. Okay, once I see a breaker block setup, that's how I do it. So if price is not going below these swing lows, okay, that's not a high probability condition for me to look at dollar, because first of all, it's not respecting my trading rules. I want to see price clearing out these relative equal lows. It can remain in seek and destroy, but at least I want to see price going below this low, then it can reverse. Okay, just like it did here on buy side liquidity. Price came all the way up, offered buy side liquidity, then reversed. Okay, I can trade in this scenario. It doesn't matter if it's like inside of a seek and destroy. Okay, but if price is not clearing out the relative equal lows, then me personally, I find it quite hard to trade in these conditions. So I was just avoiding dollar. But today I think we have a good analysis. I have a good analysis on dollar. So what's my analysis? The analysis would be something like this. We have relative equal highs resting above these highs. Okay, so what I want to see price doing something like this. Okay, hitting this fair value gap, hitting this CB, and then dropping. So the perspective will be something like this, okay? As we have relative equal lows down here, below each and every low here, resting strong sell side liquidity. Each and every low down here, there's sell side liquidity below these lows. Sell side liquidity here, relative equal lows here, relative equal lows. Then we have a major level of sell side liquidity. I'm not expecting for price to clearing this out today, okay? Because it's way far, and it's gonna be a lot of movement even for NFP to deliver all the way down here. Our major level of sell side liquidity is resting below these lows, okay? We have a swing low, then another low, another low, another low, another, which are relatively equal to each other. So that means like we have strong level of liquidity, sell side liquidity is resting here. So I'm not really bullish on dollar because of these lows, okay? So let's see what happens. I'm expecting a bearish price action after price hits this fair value gap. Okay, why this fair value gap? Why HYDRA are you not expecting price to come all the way up in this fair value gap, which aligns with a breaker, higher high, new higher high, down close candles, breaker block, fair value gap? Okay, why am I not expecting that? It's possible for price to come all the way up and feel it, okay, but from my eyes, from my experience, it's not a high probability scenario. Why it's not a high probability scenario? Because of the relative equal high that price generated here. Okay, when price generates relative equal high, you should know that that's a strong level of liquidity, and once price provides a major strong level of liquidity, it tends to reverse. And where do we have strong level of liquidity? Price delivers sell side liquidity efficiently. If you look at your chart, swing low here, then new swing low, generated relative equal lows down here, then price cleared out the equal lows, provide a short-term buy side liquidity, okay, right here at this candle side, then dropped again, offered sell side liquidity here. Okay, so I think from my experience it's efficient towards the sell side liquidity for now. If I zoom out, it's not efficient, okay? We have low here, which is relatively equal to these two lows. So that's the reason I'm only expecting to see price hitting this fair value gap, as it has a major level of sell side liquidity plus relative equal highs above here, which is strong level of liquidity. So after price offers strong level of liquidity, it can hit this fair value gap, which will be another level of liquidity for price to grab. And once price hit this fair value gap, we will have these relative equal lows remaining, okay? So that's why I believe and I think price will hunt relative equal lows after it hits this fair value gap, and not coming all the way up here. But it's NFP, okay? Keep in mind that I'm not sharing any trade idea. I'm not like strongly suggesting in one views. It's NFP. You all know that it's hard to predict, okay? But I'm doing it with you all. I may be wrong, but do I care if I'm wrong? No, I'm not trading NFP. I'm gonna look for trades after the NFP delivers at 9:20 to 9:30. We have our first macro, then we have our second macro, 9:50 to 10:10. If possible, I'll stay with you all and tape read the silver bullet 10 to 11. So I hope we will find a setup there, okay, in between those times. Also, I'm just gonna wait and see how price delivers the NFP, and then we will look for a setup. What do you see here on NASDAQ? Price generated relative equal lows again. What does it mean? It showing us where it wanna go. It's showing us it can. Where do we have liquidity? Order block, mean threshold. Okay, keep in mind we have a BPR here, weekly BPR. Let me show you guys that. Let me hide the drawings. I'm on weekly chart on NASDAQ. What do you see here? Fair value gap, another fair value gap that ran aggressively below this old fair value gap, so that creates this BPR. So we are inside of it. I'm not expecting price to come all the way up here. We do have a relative equal highs here, okay? So that's also like a strong level of liquidity, so price can come all the way up here, but I'm trusting BPR rather than trusting these relative equal highs. So let's see what happens. Another thing I want to clear out, some of the folks like, right, I shared this chart with you all on Telegram and on Twitter, saying I do see a breaker block here. So the chart image was something like this. Okay, I explained everything, what I saw, how I saw it, and why I marked it as a breaker block, why not as a mitigation block. Okay, some of them, I don't know, like they never call the market, they never share their setup. They're coming on my comments and saying that like, you marked it wrong, it's a mitigation block. It's not a mitigation block. You don't know how to look at chart, okay? Because you see the choppiness, I'm talking to the folks who don't think that that's a breaker block, okay? Because of the choppiness, price was successfully able to, you know, manipulate your mind. So we have a higher high here, a lot of relative equal highs here. As I teach you guys, okay, I'm a relative equal high and relative equal low trader. I don't need a clean swing high here for me to say, okay, that's a stop hunt here. If price is going above relative equal highs, what does it mean? The same thing is happening right now on NASDAQ, okay? For the folks who was like looking at that as mitigation block, I'm talking to them. Relative swing high here, then relative equal highs here. So what is this? That's a strong level of liquidity. So if price is going above these relative equal highs and clearing it out, what price is doing? A stop hunt is providing liquidity above these swing highs. The same thing price did on Ethereum. Right? Our breaker block is here, relative equal highs here. Price came all the way up, hit the order block, which is in premium zone. Okay, there's a premium PDR according to the measurement from this candle's high, swing low. If you measure it like this, our premium is here. So price came all the way up in deep premium. Okay, avoid all the choppiness, avoid this big candles week, avoid that too. Okay, then what do we have? A clean swing high, avoid the manipulation, then a drop, a clean high, okay, new higher high, then a drop, breaker block, price closed the candle's body below the breaker block, generated a fair value gap just as we see in a breaker block, came all the way up, hit the midway of this fair value gap, which is inside this breaker block. So this breaker block worked as a unicorn. That's the reason I gave you guys the signal, okay? When price was right here, how do I got the confidence the price will drop from this level here? Because I saw this kind of setup repeating again and again so many times, okay? The same thing happens, the same thing keeps repeating, only if you know how to see it. A lot of folks, they will see it as a mitigation block. It's not a mitigation block. Because of the choppiness here, you are seeing a manipulating price action. You don't have the experience to see it, okay? And the folks who are saying, complaining like it's a mitigation block, they didn't call it live. I called it live, and price respected my analysis. And yeah, that's it. If you wanna oppose my what I'm doing here, then do something relatively what I'm doing, okay? Then give me advice. Anyway, that's another level of experience. Once you are experienced with the breaker block, watching a lot of breaker blocks on your own chart, then you will know that once price generates relative equal highs, clears it out, what price is doing is providing liquidity, strong level of liquidity. So we can expect to see a reversal from where? Premium zone, okay? Premium PDRA. Do we have a premium PDRA here? Yes, we have this fair value gap. Price didn't respect it. Our last line of defense would be this order block. Price came all the way up. Stop there, okay? Right there. So that's a new higher high. I don't need all this choppiness to see a higher high. I don't care about the choppiness. I just see chart like this, higher high, new higher high. It doesn't matter how many weeks are there, as long as these weeks are below the main week. The main week is here. Okay, that's the main week, and all of these candles are below this week. Okay, so that becomes the main week. So as long as all of these weeks are below it, I have the higher high here, which goes with my pattern. That's my pattern, higher high, new higher high, which will have to form inside a premium PD array. It cannot just form in a discount PD array. Okay, it won't work. Higher high, new higher high, that hit the premium PD array. So I got my pattern here. I'm just avoiding all the relative equal highs here. Okay, I'm speaking to the folks who don't know how to see it. Okay, avoid all the choppiness here, all of the manipulation, consolidation here. It doesn't matter. Price dropped sharp, just like it did here. We wait for a candle's body closure below the breaker block. Price did here. Did price give me a chance here? No. Then I wait. I wait for price to reverse and come back to the breaker block and then show me willingness to reverse. It did here. It reversed beautifully from this fair value gap. What else do I need to tell you guys there's a breaker block? Is it clear? Do you understand why it's not a mitigation block? Let me know in the chat if you guys can understand if it's a breaker block or not. Emilio is saying, please repeat, please rewind. I'll say the same thing. I'm not gonna say anything different, okay? Robin is saying, have end semester exams tomorrow. Can't wait to join streams again, but the metrics just won't let me. Forget about the stream, bro. You cannot just focus on two things, study and then trading. It won't happen. You'll have to do one thing, okay, at a time. If you're studying, completely focus on study, forget about trading. If you are trading, completely focus on trading, forget about the study. Why you are studying? That's the first question. Then why you are trading? You are trading because of the money. Then why are you studying? It doesn't matter if you are studying or not. At the end of the day, if you don't earn a lot of money in India, no one cares. If your job is a software engineer or whatever, okay, everything comes down to money. So you are making money, you are learning how to make money. So focus on trading, Robin. Forget about the study. So let's wait. We have 30 minutes before our NFP delivers. Look how price is leaving clues for us where price wanna go. Relative equal highs here. So we will see a reversal, okay? Wait. And just as I outlined to you all that this BC, okay, which is inside of our new week opening gap, if you guys remember, I wanna see price dropping here in this BC and then moving towards the buy side liquidity. That's what I want to see on US30. So let's see what happens and how it happens. A mitigation block is a failed breaker block, okay? So what I told you guys there on the Ethereum chart, how do you know that it's gonna be a mitigation block? Okay, if price was not generating this higher high that took out these relative equal highs, okay, then it would have been a mitigation block. If I show you in a pattern, then it will be something like this. Wait, like this, okay, then it will become a mitigation block, not a breaker block. No higher high. We need a stop hunt for a breaker block to get activated, okay? Without a stop hunt, it's not a breaker block, it's a mitigation block, like this. So compare this pattern in this price action. Does it match? It doesn't. Now compare this pattern with the price action here. Is it matching? Yes, it's matching. So it's a breaker block, not a mitigation block. If you are getting confused with like which one is a breaker block, which one is a mitigation block, then just draw a pattern like this right next to your chart, then match it with the price action that you are watching, and you are predicting that it will become a breaker block. If this pattern is matching with your breaker block and everything is good, like price has no other way to go against you, or at least you are hoping to see that with high probability condition, with targets, then yeah, it will work. This pattern will never fail you if your logic, if your narrative is correct. Yeah, without a stop hunt, a breaker block, that's not a breaker block. Without a stop hunt, there's no breaker block. You need a stop hunt for a valid breaker block, otherwise it's a mitigation block. See, on NASDAQ, as I told you guys, what I want to see is price delivering towards the buy side liquidity and then hitting our mean threshold, order block mean threshold. That's what I want to see on NASDAQ. On US30, I want to see price dropping into this fair value gap, and I explained why I want to see price dropping specifically in this fair value gap. Why not below this fair value gap? Why not this fair value gap? Why not going below these lows? I explained it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can just, I'll request you to rewind the stream and listen to it from the beginning, okay? I explained it there. It's all there. Okay, I do see a breaker block forming on NASDAQ on 50-minute chart. Okay, let me show you guys that. This candle's high, okay? Look at the part of my screen here where it shows the open, high, low, and close, okay? Right here, look at the highs. This candle high is coming at 14,528.5. This candle high is coming at 14,529.1. So price went above this swing high, so it's a stop hunt here. Okay, if I just hide the equal highs here, just by like 2 tick, price cleared out the swing high from here, so stop hunt, new higher high. So this down close candles becomes our breaker block. If price is closing its candle's body on NASDAQ below these breaker blocks at NFP, the move will be very aggressive, okay? You won't be able to take part in it. So don't think like I'm giving you a signal. It would have been a signal if it wasn't NFP, okay? Price will do that, but there's no way you are engaging at NFP. I don't believe that. Okay, even on demo, it don't work. Your trade won't execute below these candles. So once price is closing this candle's body below these last down close candles, we'll have a breaker, and we do have relative equal lows, which goes with our trading model. If you don't know what model I'm talking about, you can visit my YouTube channel. You can go to the video section. There I made a video about deep inside macro plus breaker block. There I shared the breaker block model with you all, the whole structure. Okay, here I only talk about the pattern, like higher high, new higher high, then down close candle. That's our breaker block. But a breaker block is way more than that. It comes with targets. We do have relative equal lows down here, relative equal lows, relative equal lows. So price may revisit these relative equal lows, then it may reverse, hit the order block mean threshold. But a ideal scenario would be price hitting this order block, the mean threshold of this order block, then dropping. Okay, it's a monthly order block, so if you don't see it, go on the monthly chart, you will see it. Angel is saying in one video ICT tell always also that we can use the body for take liquidity. Ideal scenario is candles weak, okay, for clearing out the liquidity. That will be like an ideal scenario for price to reverse. If price is coming all the way up, taking out liquidity from a candle's body, what is it generating? It's generating relative equal highs, right? So me personally, I'm not like a double bottom, double, triple bottom short trader. I target those. So I'm not gonna like teach you guys how to look at chart once price clears out the liquidity from the candle's body, because that's not how I trade. I target those, okay? So a clean liquidity grab for me is from a swing high. It doesn't matter if the wick is long or small. If the wick is very big, then we measure the wick, consequent encroachment. We expect to see price coming all the way up to the consequent encroachment, or suppose the lower quadrant, the upper quadrant. That's how we see it. But here it's a small wick, so price did a stop hunt here, and that's a valid stop hunt. Okay, price don't need to generate a big wick to do a stop hunt. If it's just like tapping into it just by a couple of ticks, that's a stop hunt. So keep an eye on this breaker block. Okay, we are not trading NFP, we are tape reading, we are gaining experience. After NFP delivers, we will trade. We will look for a setup, but not now. And price can respect this breaker block. Why am I mentioning this breaker block? Because of this 4-hour unfilled fair value gap. Okay, on NASDAQ, price efficiently delivered buy side liquidity. It hit this BPR, hit this CB. We only have one target remaining, this order block mean threshold. Other than that, price delivered beautifully inside this BPR, inside this fair value gap. So right now it is inefficient towards the sell side liquidity, as we have a big beefy unfilled candle, okay, unfilled fair value gap. So price may just want to drop down, revisit this fair value gap. Okay, and if it's not doing that, if it just suppose NFP didn't deliver as we are expecting to see, NFP was like slow, choppy, then we at like other times at our macros, we can target these relative equal low here, this swing low, or this fair value gap. So first, let's wait and see how NFP delivers. The sword breaker block is not activated yet. Hymns, I already mentioned everything. I think you joined late, so if you just rewind the video and go back to the beginning, you will know that like what I'm talking about, the mean threshold, what I'm expecting from the mean threshold, what targets I'm watching. I mentioned everything. So right now let's wait. Let's wait and see how price is gonna deliver. If you guys have any question, you can ask me in the chat section. I'm looking at chat and I'd love to answer. Jadon is saying, do you trade 1 hour or 50 minutes? Mostly 3 minutes and 1 minute. Other than that, rarely 5 minutes, never 15 minutes or 1 hour. I'm not a swing trader. Okay, so I'm a short-term trader, scalper, basically. So yeah, mainly on 3 minute and 1 minute chart. That's where I trade. Any macro for gold? No, I don't know if there's any macro exist in gold. I have no interest to look at gold. Gold sucks. Mason, why not working with US 500? It's the same, okay? The analysis that I shared with you all on US 30, it's the same analysis for US 500. They move the same always. Okay, very very rarely you will see they are moving against. The pair that move against is like US 30, US 500 with NASDAQ. They tend to move opposite to each other, but US 500, US 100, they move. Sorry, US 500 and US 30, they move same. Breaker activated on ES. Really? On what time frame? I don't see breaker getting activated on hourly though. I'm watching NASDAQ. Sorry, US 500, but I don't see it. Okay, we're talking about this down close candle. Is it visible? Yes, a breaker got activated on ES. So do we have lower targets? Do we still have higher targets for price to visit? Okay, we are not a pattern trader, keep that in mind. So we want to see if price has relative equal highs or not towards the buy side liquidity. On it don't have it, right? Price is inside this old fair value gap on daily time frame, and we do have relative equal lows, this unfilled fair value gap. Okay, so I think we can target this if that breaker is getting activated. Higher high, new higher high. I want to see price closing a candle's body below this down close candles. Okay, I'm not favoring a big movement from this breaker, as on US 30 I showed you guys we have equal highs. So on US 30 I'm seeing equal highs. So what I'm expecting to see on US 500 is I want to see them moving together. Okay, not opposite. So this is our stop hunt. This is our new higher high. Breaker block these last down close candle, not this one. Okay, not these down close candles are our breaker block. It's not these down close candles are our breaker block. Why? Because it's the main swing low. It's a dealing range from this high to this low. That was our old dealing range. Our dealing range got broken, but by which swing high? Not this swing high. This swing high didn't took out this high from here. This high did. Okay, so that becomes our down close candles, and that becomes our favorite breaker block. And price did actually close the candle's body below the breaker block, and it's retesting it beautifully. If suppose it was like any other day, not NFP, I would have like taken a trade here because it looks clean to me. And we do have lower targets like clean, relative equal low down here, and we have this, I think, hourly 4-hour unfilled fair value gap. So I'm just gonna mark it BC 4-hour. The same breaker block you will see on US30. Okay, they don't move different. It's there. Unfilled. So 5-minute chart. A lot of liquidity is resting below these lows, so a easy target from this breaker block would be these lows down here. I will take a partial, or I would have taken a partial below any of these lows, right? So if I measured this swing from this low to this high, I'll take a partial at like the premium. Okay, our optimal trade entry level is coming below these lows. Okay, so this is a good place for price to reverse. If price can just like clear out these relative equal lows and then it can reverse. So for me to take a partial in this scenario would be this low. Okay, the entry in this breaker block would have been right here. Once price closing candles body below the breaker block. Okay, this is our breaker block, these down close candles, and as soon as price opened the next candle, retested this breaker block, that's where I would have entered. Okay, you guys saw me taking entries like this. So suppose it's an imaginary entry, not an entry that we are taking, but we are tape reading. Okay, if you came here for signals, you should leave and you should read the thumbnail again. It says tape reading. So I'm not here to give you signals, I'm just analyzing the chart the way I do, and you are here to see it. So if you don't like it and if you are waiting for a signal, it don't happen. So that's where I would have entered. Stop loss, where will I put my stop loss? Above this candle. Okay, where I showed it, above this swing high, this high here. If price is going all the way up above this candle, then my whole analysis is wrong. It's not valid anymore, as we have a fair value gap here. Price should respect it. It should remain below this fair value gap. If price is coming all the way up, then this is gonna be our last line of defense to expect lower prices from this fair value gap. Okay, and thank you for mentioning it. Someone mentioned it, right? Yasir, thank you bro for mentioning it. You are really improving. So yeah, you saw it before I even talked about it. So do you see it? It's easy to outline, it's easy to see, it's very eye-catchy. Okay, the only thing that you need to learn is how to build a narrative. After that, a breaker block will always be there. You just need to learn how to read chart with correct narrative. It's just a pattern. Okay, breaker block that I showed with you all is a pattern. A pattern will always show up, but what you need to learn is the narrative, how to build the correct narrative. Higher high, new higher high, price closing a candle body below the breaker block, then we engage at the next candle. It's easy. You can master it in 1 or 2 days, 3 days. In a week you can master breaker block, but you cannot master in a week the narrative, how to build the correct narrative. So that takes time. So yeah, focus on that, not on the setup. Okay, I always tell you guys, setup will always be there. Don't focus on setup. If you are doing that, you are doing it wrong. What matters is the narrative. Okay, so suppose we push the button here, we shorted here, we will take a partial like at the premium. Our premium is coming somewhere here at below these lows. Okay, so I'll just put a alert here. That's the 50% of this dealing range from this low to this high. 50% will come somewhere here. I'm just eyeballing it. The folks who push the button here, they will not make in this industry very long. Okay, you won't see them staying in this industry very long because they're impulsive. They're not following the rules. The rules say that don't trade before the NFP, don't push the button before the NFP. It doesn't matter how good of a setup that is. It doesn't matter if like price respecting every one of your analysis. What matters, you are sticking with rules, and the rules are here to protect you. NFP move, it can zero your account in just a minute. Okay, your stop loss won't work, nothing will work. So why just do it for one setup? You will have this same setup, okay, the same thing. You can screenshot it or whatever. The same thing will repeat again today, again and again and again and again. You may not see it on US 500 clearly. You will find it on US30 or NASDAQ or in any other forex pair. So this thing will repeat. So why not just let it go for today, for just before the NFP? Our macro is starting 8:20 to 8:30. We know we have a macro at that period, and we know that in this macro, inside this macro, we expect to see a breaker block forming. Do you see a breaker block getting activated inside of our macro? This candle closed below the breaker block at 8:10. If you are, suppose you are following time strictly, you only will execute inside the macro. Then look at this candle. When did it got activated? 8:15. This candle is inside of our macro. Okay, so you can just wait to see if price is retouching this candle's low or revisiting this breaker block. Once it does that, you can execute. If not, you can just trade it or let it go. Okay, tape read it and just let it go. I know it's very hard to do, to let go a clean setup, but yeah, you have to do it. You will have to learn how to do it. Look at me, I'm just letting it go, and I have confirmation for it to let it go, as I do see US30 moving towards the buy side. So what I believe is this breaker block, if it's like respecting price, then at least down here, but not that much. Okay, going all the way below and clearing out liquidity, I'm expecting bullish price action. So let's see how price does it. We still have 7 minutes. And the same thing is repeating on US30. Higher high, new higher high, down close candle, breaker block. That's why you never see me mentioning US 500 or ES. I don't need to. It's the same thing, okay? It's you who never saw and looked into US30. That's why you don't know they move together. That's why you keep asking me, okay, do analysis on US 500. Bro, it's the same thing, okay? And what I will tell you, like, US30 moves clearer and provides clear, clean setup compared to ES, okay? ES tends to be a lot more choppier than US30. DJ VIP is saying, HYDRA, gold also respect more the macro time. I've been testing a lot and it works. If it working for you, then it's good, bro. I never looked into gold, so I have no idea it works or not. I just know that it's not my pair. GR8 Dalmuti is saying, you said you trade 1 to 3 minute time frame, but candles in many of your videos are 5 and 15 minute. You will, that's a challenge for you. You'll never find me pushing a button inside like hourly chart, 50-minute chart. Okay, I strictly follow the rules. The rule that I follow is like executing in 1 and 3 minute chart. Okay, if I'm mentioning about 5 and 15 minute, then know that the same thing repeats on 1 to 3 minute chart. And as you are new, you don't know. If you see a breaker block forming in 1 hour chart, the same breaker block with the same pattern will form in 1 minute. So the time frame basically doesn't matter. I trade on 1 and 3 minute chart because of the emotion. I'm an emotional person, so I easily get emotional if I'm holding a trade longer. I doubt my trades. That's the reason I'm trading like only 2 hour, 4 hour max, and on 1 to 3 minute chart. But it doesn't matter. The time frame doesn't matter. The logics that I share with you all on 1 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute chart, the same logic, the same thing will apply even on weekly chart, even on monthly chart, even on daily, hourly, 4 hour chart. The same logic, okay? If you are mastering one time frame, you can trade on any other time frame. If you have the patience, if you know how to control your emotions and brain. And me personally, I'm still struggling to control my emotions and getting good at it. So that's why I build the rules, okay? The rules that I share with you all, like strictly trading inside the macro. Then I have the zones like 820 to 830, 920 to 930. Very rarely you will find other ICT traders doing that. And me I've been honest with you all, like me, I face a lot of emotional struggles in trading, okay? Like suppose if I wasn't live streaming, in my mind I would have like, okay, I need to push the button here. Then I would have to like fight my emotion. That's why I have the rules. Only execute inside macros in your live funds. If you want to execute in other trades outside of a macro, then do it on your demo. Once you are making consistent money from other time frames, then do the same thing on your live funds. That's how I do it. That's how I talk to myself. Okay, there's nothing wrong saying that it's getting hard controlling your emotion. There's nothing wrong with that. Every fucking trader out there who are pretending like they're good at it, every day they're fighting with their emotions. It always comes back. Like if you are thinking like one day will master the emotion and it will never come back, it will come back. The emotions each and every trading day, it will come back. Just a lower, okay, just a little bit lower. Like before I used to feel a lot more emotional, not following my rules. Right now, after like couple of months, I am following my rules. I'm not getting emotional. I'm tape reading and all that good stuff, okay? So with time it decreases, but it never leaves you. It's always there. You will always be emotional and you will always have to fight it. That's the truth, okay? That's the reason I trade on 1 to 3 minute chart. I hope you got the answer. Two-minute before the NFP releases. So let's see. Ideal scenario. I was expecting to see ideal scenario, price hitting this BC, then moving towards the buy side liquidity. So let's see how price does it. So on US100, the breaker block that I mentioned, it never got activated. It's on 50-minute chart. You can look into it. So we are bullish. Price is respecting that breaker block as an order block. So I want to see NASDAQ hitting the order block mean threshold. Just a couple of seconds after that, we'll have a crazy movement. Both of these charts. Let's see how price does it. Okay, so price did hit this BC, not respected this BC, is moving towards the sell side. Let's still wait, okay? Price is moving with a lot of volatility, so yeah, it's possible for price to reverse, and it reversed exactly from the place where I told you guys. Don't trust your eyes, it happened. Okay, that's the reason I told you guys, I always tell you guys, focus on building a correct narrative. US500, just as I told you guys, it's very much possible for price to reach the premium according to our dealing range, and then reversing. That's why I told you guys not trusting this breaker block, okay? Because on US30 prices relative equal highs. I want to see more volatility, not like this, okay? What's wrong with NFP today? Really? I wasn't expecting this movement. I was expecting a movement way more volatile than this. Recently, what I've been seeing, like, only what's the news? I forgot the name of that. Only the FOMC delivering like beautifully with a lot of volatility. Other newses, they became choppy. Like this. Slow, less volume. That's what I don't like to see. I need volatility. Show me volatility, algo. What are you doing here? So do you guys now know why I only expected to see a reversal in price from this fair value gap? Okay, why not from this one? Why not from this fair value gap? Okay, I hope you guys understood why I was expecting to see a reversal in price at NFP from this fair value gap, from this specific fair value gap. Do you guys understood now? If you did, then hit the thumbs up button, okay? If not, then ask me again, then I may clarify again. Samir 555 is saying, can you repeat again? Joined lately, sorry. You can rewind the stream and you can listen to it again. Okay, don't get impulsive. I see a lot of people are saying and mentioning about the breaker block. Am I looking for any setup right now? I'm not. I'm sitting still. I'm being patient. This is the time where you will have to show the patience, okay? Why are you guys talking about the setup right now? We are not supposed to look for setups right now. We are waiting for the time. Nah, I'm not gonna review any breaker block right now, okay? I'm not looking for a setup. I wanna see where price is reaching. Then I will look for a setup, not now. Do you guys see the precision, okay? A ICT student, no one knows me, I'm just a stranger, predicted the NFP move to the tick. How? That's how you do it, folks, with logic, with narrative. It's all running with algo, okay? So if it's running with algo, what you need to do is just predict what algo will do. That's what I did here, and that's what price did here, okay? By following my logic to the tick. So for the folks who joined late, I'll explain to you all again why I expected to see price reversing from this specific fair value gap Okay, how do I knew it? How did I knew it? Look at dollar. Let's talk about that dollar. Look at the precision on dollar. Your boy called NFP move to the tick. It's all live. You can go back and rewind it, listen to it again. It's all there. You cannot hide anything what happened in live. Why did I expect it to see a short from this fair value gap? Why not from this fair value gap, which is in premium? Why not from this fair value gap? Why? Do you guys know the answer now, or you forgot it? Now imagine watching chart like this with me every single day, and me explaining everything and walking you through the whole price action every single day. Will your improvements happen a lot sooner than others? Do you think that? What do you think? Like, if you are tape reading and trading with me like this, and I'm explaining to you everything in details just like I did here, and you are seeing it in your price, in your live chart happening every single day, and you are studying with me, do you think your progress in trading will happen a lot faster than other ICT traders? Do you think that? Yes, that's why you need someone to guide you in live price action. Okay, in hindsight is easy, folks, right? Anyone can do it in hindsight. Like, suppose I'm not live today, I'm tape reading and I'm sharing with everything with you all on Telegram. It's still not like that satisfactory. Okay, when you see me talking and mentioning about a price level live in chart, and then you are seeing the same thing repeating on your chart, then of course you are gonna learn a lot more than what other persons are learning. Okay, ICT, mostly he's not live streaming, all he's doing in hindsight, but you can still learn from his hindsights. Okay, but you need someone to show you how price works in a live price action, just as I did in front of you all today, just as I've been doing for the last couple of weeks. Yeah, there's a breaker block on NASDAQ. I see it. Okay, I'm looking at it, guys. Okay, if a breaker block is worth mentioning, I will mention it, and I will trade with it. I'll trade it with you all. I'll do it. It's just not the right time to look for a setup right now. Okay, we are inside of a zone where price is manipulating. After 8:35 till 9:20, that's when price manipulates. So we should just be patient. Just let price do whatever it wanna do. At 9:20 to 9:30, that's when I will look for a setup. Not right now. Let's just wait and see on hourly chart or 50-minute chart where price is delivering. Morhore is asking, how many screens do you use to monitor your charts? I currently have 4 screens. So I'm trading with one screen with you all right here. I'm reading the chats, and I have the chart in one screen. Then I have other 2 screens there are charts too. So I'm looking at 4 charts. I'm also looking at this chart. So I am using four screens, but when I'm live streaming, I'm only looking at 2 screens. Other 2 screens are just there. I'm not looking into it. But when I'm trading alone, then I use all of the screens. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna explain why I saw this fair value gap supporting price and why not the fair value gaps that it had on hourly chart below, right? Why not this fair value gap, which makes more sense and which is in which is in discount. So we expect to see a reversal in price from the discount. Okay, that's what ICT teaches us, but he don't take us that deeper. I'm gonna do it for you. Okay, I'm gonna do it how I learned it. There's a new week opening gap here. If I toggle on the new week opening gap from the my indicator, okay, that was the main factor for me to expect a reversal from this fair value gap. Okay, because of this new week opening gap. And just as I teach you guys to look at breaker block, when do we know a breaker block is activated and a breaker block is valid? Once price closes a candle's body below or above the breaker block, that's when we know that this is a breaker block, if your narrative is correct. The same thing we use on new week opening gap. Okay, price sees this new week opening gap as a premium and discount PDRA. So where's the premium and discount according to the measurement of new week opening gap? I'm not talking about price swing, I'm not talking about dealing range, I'm not doing that. I'm only talking about new week opening gap and the measurement of the new week opening gap. Okay, if I measure this new week opening gap, the premium will come here, the discount will come here. So what price did here, okay, before the NFP move, this was the candle here. Okay, I'm in a replay mode, this was the candle, and that's the time I told you guys that I want to see price revisiting this fair value gap, which is in discount according to the measurement of the new week opening gap. Okay, price closed the candle's body above the midway of this new week opening gap and above the new week opening gap. So we know that price is bullish right now. If price is retracing, which it should not in an ideal scenario, if price is doing that inside of a new week opening gap, after price closed the candle's body above the new week opening gap, if price is retracing, you should know that it's just retracing to get the orders from the discount level. And where is our discount level? Below the midway of the new week opening gap. Do we have a fair value gap below the midway? Yeah, this is the line, this is the blue line that you see, that's the midway. Below the midway we have a fair value gap here. So that's how I predicted it. If price is going below, okay, it's going to take orders from the discount. Do we have a fair value gap in a discount range? Yes, we have it here. Do we have strong targets like relative equal highs above us that price can take after hitting this discount PDRA? Do we have a target? We need a strong, really strong target for price to reverse again. Okay, did we have that? We had it. Higher high, which is new lower high, okay, which is lower than this high, relative equal high. Above that we have a lot of relative equal highs. So we had target. That's how I predicted it. Sounds easy or sounds complicated? Once price closes a candle's body above the new week opening gap, it should not retrace. If it's retracing, keep in mind that it's going for the discount. Then you look for the PDRAs that is in discount. What do I mean by the discount? Below the midway of new week opening gap, it's a discount. Above the midway of new week opening gap, it's premium. If price is closing a candle's body below the new week opening gap, okay, then after that, if price is retracing back to it again, know that it's going for the premium zone. Just as we saw here, price came all the way up, closed the candle's body above the new week opening gap. So what do we know now? Price is bullish, okay, really bullish, as we have relative equal highs here. Then price showed us that it's retracing. Where is it retracing? To a discount PDRA. Which PDRA? This hourly fair value gap, which is below the consequent encroachment of this new week opening gap. I hope you understood everything, and you cannot complain about what I'm seeing, telling you, what I'm showing you all here, because it's happening. You may not agree with me like the way I see chart. I see a lot of ICT traders every single day. They're coming in my comment section and they're saying, okay, you are wrong in that concept. You are wrong telling us the intermediate rebalance, immediate rebalance. You are wrong in breaker block. You are wrong there. Bro, price is agreeing with me live. I'm doing it live, okay? I may be wrong, okay? I'm not arguing with that, but
if I'm wrong, then price should not respect my analysis. Price itself is respecting its analysis, and price is saying, okay, you are right, Hydra, I should move like that. And that's what you are seeing. So if you're telling me I'm wrong, it's okay. Just let me know that why you are telling me I'm wrong. Not just the word wrong. Explain why am I wrong. Then I will love your comment to read if you are doing that. Samir 555 is saying many thanks for the explanation. Hydra, you are welcome. May I ask what the new week opening gap is? Sorry again for the stupid question. It's not a stupid question. It's a newbie question. You are new, I know that. A new week opening gap is when price stops. Okay, today is Friday, so our trading will stop at 6 o'clock. So after it stops, it opens at Sunday 6 o'clock. So in between that time, price generates a gap. So that is the new week opening gap, if I simply put it in that way. If you don't still understand that, you will have to go back to my mentor's channel, search new week opening gap, new day opening gap. He made a video about that, and you will find it there. Okay, let's look at NASDAQ. A lot of you are like literally going crazy for a setup, okay? I know it feels good when you are successfully seeing a breaker block forming and you wanna know like if it's a correct breaker block or not. But just know that you are new and this is not the time you should look at a setup, okay? Why am I telling you not to look at a setup? Because if you're looking at a setup, inside you, the person that is inside you, he will tell you, okay, take the setup, take it, bro, it's so perfect, it doesn't matter what Hydra is saying, don't wait, just take it. I know you will feel it, and then you will push the button, then you will lose money. So that's why I lost it, okay? I'm talking about myself, not you. I did it, I had the rules, I didn't follow it, I saw the setup after NFP, I pushed the button, then market just reversed again. Then I was revenge trading, okay? I blew up a couple of accounts like this, so I'm not gonna do the same thing again, okay? If I do the same thing, the same emotions will come back to me again, then I'll have to fight those emotions again. So that's a whole new process, but I'm gonna mention the breaker block that everyone is going crazy for. Okay, this is the breaker block that you guys are like telling me. I mentioned to you about this breaker block before the NFP release. Higher high, new higher high, it doesn't matter, okay? It doesn't have to be a long, big, beefy wick to generate a breaker block. If price is just going above a swing high just by one tick and then activating a breaker block, it's a breaker block. What do you see here? These swing high, price retraced back to the premium, hit the order blocks, bearish order block, then drop down. So these down close candles, which is way more visible on 50-minute chart, okay, not these up close candles for the newer folks. These down close candles are our breaker block. So what I see on 50-minute chart is that price left a fair value gap here, okay? That's not an ideal scenario for price to come all the way up and hit this fair value gap, but if it's doing it inside, suppose our 920 to 930 macro, then we can look for a setup, okay, by using the same breaker block that generated before our macro. So our 5-minute chart is here, breaker block is here, price. Do you guys see why I built a rules like this? Because I was pushing button here, okay? I don't know about you if you did it with breaker block or not, but suppose price didn't close the candle's body below the breaker block, I was expecting to see it work as a breaker block, and I was pushing button here, okay, before price closed the candle's body below the breaker block. I didn't know that. From my experience, from my journaling of 1 year of trades with breaker block, I knew that like once price closes a candle's body below the breaker block, that's when the best setup forms. Okay, so here you should not execute. Where should you execute? That's the NFP move. Okay, the next candle, once price close the candle's body below the breaker block, you do not participate here. You are not ready to do that. Okay, if you are just using breaker block recently, then just wait for a candle's body to close below and execute in the next candle, not the candle that goes below the breaker block. Okay, don't do that. You don't know which candle will do that, so you will know in future. You will be able to take the aggressive entries, but not right now. At the next candle, you wait for price to retrace back to the breaker block. It can hit the breaker block just by one tick. It doesn't matter, as long as it hits it, that's when you engage. If there's a fair value gap here, okay, suppose there's a fair value gap, that's when you wait for price to retrace back to the fair value gap, that then dropping. Okay, targeting relative equal lows. Suppose price closed the candle's body below the breaker block, and the candle that closed the body, it cleared out all the relative equal lows. So now you don't have anything to target. You just avoid the setup. That's how you do it. So there's no like entry for us to take, rather than just tape reading. And this setup got activated inside the ICT macro 850 to 1010. Very rarely from my experience, only 20% of the time I found a breaker block setup forming there with a low probability condition. 60 to 70% of the time a breaker block forms inside the 820 to 930. The same goes for 920 to 930, which is a little bit higher. Okay, like suppose 70% of the time I expect to see, or I saw, a breaker block forming 920 to 930, and then 950 to 1010. Every single macro, okay, you know what setup you are gonna look for inside of the macros is a breaker block setup, and it will form. If it doesn't form in one setup, then it will form another one. Okay, dollar became bullish again. I was expecting to see a run below this low. That's why I'm avoiding dollar. Okay, folks, like it's moving with US30 and then like ES. They're moving together, so there's no benefit for me to analyze dollar as they're moving together. I'm not trading on dollar, so that's the reason I was just avoiding dollar. Once they're moving like opposite to each other, that's when I would like to analyze that chart, not now. So where is our new breaker block on ES? This is our higher high, new higher high. Okay, our stop hunt is here. Higher high, new higher high. Here, so our buy side is resting above the new higher high. Okay, for the folks who are new, very new, who don't even know what is new opening gap, new opening gap, me personally don't get hurt, but I'm not doing live stream for you all. You will get confused with what I'm talking here because I go a lot deeper than the basic concept. Okay, so you will first have to understand the basic, then you will have to come back to my streams and watch it. Otherwise you won't understand. Everything will be very hard for you to understand, and I'm not explaining for the beginners. Okay, so these down close candles becomes our breaker block. Why am I gonna mark only half of it? Why not the full of it? Okay, I explained to you all a lot of times, because if price is going above the midway after closing a candle's body below the breaker block, okay, according to the measurement of the breaker block, that's the discount zone, that's the premium zone. Price is now in a discount range according to the measurement of this breaker block. So once price does close the candle's body below the breaker block, I don't want to see price going above the premium. Okay, and why don't I expect that? Price can just hit the breaker block's premium and then reverse, right? That will be ideal scenario. No, you don't. From my experience, from my tape reading, journaling, I saw that once price closed a candle's body below the breaker block, it should not retrace back again. It doesn't matter where. If there's a fair value gap, it can do that, but If there's no fair value gap like we have here, then you should not retrace. If it's retracing, then I'm wrong. I should just immediately close my trade. So yeah, once you keep the journals, once you do the journaling, you will see it by yourself. I'm not making anything. Once you keep doing it from your experience, backtesting is full of shit, okay? Backtesting never helps anyone to become a good profitable trader. Not backtesting. The real forward testing, live price action tape reading, that's what helps. Backtesting is full of shit. I never saw a backtesting guy making consistent money. Me personally, I never saw that. Trust me, I didn't. I started trading with a lot of ICT traders. No one. Me, I never did backtesting. I was doing backtesting, then I was seeing the same setup and then it's failing. Okay? You don't have any emotion attached to backtesting. Backtesting is worthless if you're doing it. Just do it to test out like couple of setup if this setup is working in that time zone. Okay, don't rely on backtesting and don't think like, okay, I'm profitable on backtesting, I'll do the same thing on my live funds. The same thing goes for demo account. If you are consistently profitable on demo, don't think like you will become profitable in your live funds. Yeah, you are getting surprised by hearing that. The same exact things happens. In demo, you are trading without emotions. When you are trading with your live funds or suppose a funded account, you will feel different kinds of emotion like, okay, I cannot just explain it. It's there, okay? Once you do it, I think some of you felt it. You should feel it because in trading, there's no different emotion. We all feel it. Yeah, so when you are trading with demo, then after a couple of times, after a couple of months, just do it with live funds. See if you can do it in your live funds just as you are doing in your demo account. The emotions, okay, the real emotions of like doubting a setup, then you are gonna be like, okay, if I'm losing $200, then it's my live funds. That's a lot of money for me. On demo, there was nothing. 200, 500, 1K. It doesn't matter on demo. On live funds, it matters. Okay, so the first thing in trading is emotion, folks. Emotion, you'll have to know how to control your emotion on demo account, on your live funds. Those two emotions are different. In your demo, you are mastering a strategy. You are learning how to behave, how to read the price action, okay? You are doing it on demo. In your live funds, when you are trading on your live funds, the first struggle you will face is controlling your emotions. You will become impulsive. You will think like, okay, let's make a couple more money. Then you will become do revenge trade. Then you will have to start all over again. So if you're trading on demo, don't just like completely trade on demo. Do it like buy a funded account. It doesn't matter, $50, $100, whatever you are willing to lose. If you're willing to lose a $100 account, like I think if you spend $100, you will get a 10K account, right? So if you're doing that, then that's good. That's how you should do it. So that's a breakout block. That's why I told you guys not to look for any kind of setup right now. Price will just manipulate right now. US100, do we have clean moves? When I trade, I want to see price hitting my TP in just 5 minutes. Is price doing it right here? No, it's just in a high resistance liquidity run. And I've been always telling you guys when price will go into a high resistance liquidity run. You guys just don't focus. After 8:35 till 9:20, that's the period when you should expect to see price manipulating. What do I mean by manipulating? Not just suddenly becoming aggressive or choppy. No, I'm saying price will become and remain in high resistance liquidity run inside that time period, 8:35, 9:20. Don't trust me? It's okay, you don't have to. I have a journal that tells me that price will manipulate over a long period of time. I built that journal. You don't have it. You don't even know when your setup will form, okay? So don't give me any advice. I'm not gonna look for any setup right now. I'm just gonna sit still. At 9:20, I'm gonna look for setup. That's how I do it. Market structure shift is bullshit. Someone is asking, how do we know a market structure shift is valid? I never mentioned market structure shift. It's for the newbies. You don't need to know where the market structure shift is happening. If a breaker block is forming, breaker block comes with a market structure shift. What happened here? A market structure shift. So we are just simply waiting for price to reverse back to a premium zone. Like this breaker block is in a premium, right? So that's what we are doing. Breaker block is just a pattern. If you don't have a narrative, then market structure shift, breaker block, fair value gap, nothing will work. Okay, the narrative is coming first. Avoid dollar. They're moving opposite. They're moving together. So what's the point of looking at dollar? You are trading dollar, Shahbaz. You are not. Then we only analyze dollar when they're moving opposite to each other. Dollar helps us to decide the direction, okay, in our own chart, US100, NASDAQ and ES. That's why we use dollar. When dollar is manipulating, the both are moving together. What's the point of looking at dollar? You'll just get a little bit more confused, okay, so don't do that. Spiled Muscle TV is saying, can you make a video on your ICT journey? Is people interested in that? I don't know, like if anyone interested, then yeah, I can tell the story. Wow, really? Okay, I never thought like people will be interested in hearing like how I found ICT and how I was doing it. Really, you guys are interested in that? US30 is just moving towards the buy side as I expected to see. I want to see price clearing out relative equal highs on US30. Okay, so let's talk about my whole story. I'm not gonna share the whole thing. It will take like a way more time than what I'm willing to spend right here. So I found ICT last year, and how did I found him? I was watching, okay, I was following Hannah. If you guys know her, I think, yeah, she has a YouTube channel, Hannah Trades or something. It goes something like this. So I was following her. One day I saw her mentioning about ICT for the first time, okay? And I was like, before that I heard about ICT, but everyone around me was retail trader. They was saying like, okay, this guy is a scam. He's a scammer. And yeah, that's how I found ICT, by looking at Hannah. Hannah was mentioning like, okay, I'm gonna start ICT trading journey from now on. And I was like, who is ICT? Everyone says he's a scammer. And then Hannah, who is like a really good trader, she is saying, okay, like ICT is a good trader, and ICT, she will start learning ICT concept. That's when I started looking at the 2022 mentorship. It was around like 2022, it's gonna be Jan, Feb, March, around April. Okay, I started focusing on ICT like completely around May. That's when I got serious, and I was working at that period. It's not that long when I stopped working. I was doing a complete 8-hour shift from it was an evening shift. I was starting my shift at 3 o'clock, then I was stopping at 11. I was working in a food factory, and the factory, it was like a soup factory. I'm in a French continent. I'm living in Montreal. I'm not a native French speaker, but I'm living here, so they're really into soups and all that stuff. So I was working there, and how I was studying. Okay, how did I made the time to study? I was working, at 3 o'clock. I was going to work. I was leaving for work like at 1:30, and then I was coming back home like around 12:30. I was sleeping at 1 o'clock at night. And every single day, okay, every single freaking day after I found ICT, after I found, not before, after I found ICT, I was waking up every single day around like 7 o'clock. It was really hard when I remembered that. It was hard, but I enjoyed it, okay? I believed in my dream, and the dream is paying me. So how I was managing my time when I was working, I was going to work at 1:30. So till then, I was trading on New York session. I was waking up at 7 o'clock. I was tape reading 8:30, trading 8:30, 9:30, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Till 11, I was trading. After that, I was cooking, making my food, going to work. That's how it was for like 6-7 months straight forward. I was completely working, and that's how I was managing my time. It was really hard because before I found ICT, I used to wake up at like 11 o'clock. Okay, I'm just completely being honest with you all. So I was waking up at 11 o'clock in morning, then I was making food and then going to work. Then I had to change like the whole schedule, and it wasn't easy. Trust me, I was a lazy guy. So just transferring from lazy to a working person, that's really hard, okay? So yeah, that's how I did it. I spent a lot of time. I studied, okay? If someone is telling me why you succeed, why you are making consistent money from trading ICT, why are you doing that? The main reason that I will tell you all is that because I never quit it, okay? Not even for a single day. I never stopped looking at charts even for a single day. I was losing money. I was blowing up accounts. I was being helpless, hopeless. But I had that dream, okay? The dream to become free, the dream to earn money without listening to someone else. And it may sound easy to you right now, like just say to you that you wanna become successful, then it will happen. It won't. There was time when I was like quitting, and the thing that helped me a lot from not to quit is ICT's Twitter space recordings, okay? Well, suppose whenever I was going to work and okay, so when I started trading with ICT, I was like telling every one of my colleagues that I'll quit my job in 2 or 3 months. It's just a matter of time. After that, I'll do that. And after 2-3 months, I was still working. So every single day when I was going to work, I was literally hating myself. And that time, those Twitter spaces gave me motivation, okay, gave me inspiration to continue in trading. So I will like suggest you, if you are not like that motivational, or you are thinking like, okay, will I make it or not, then please listen to those Twitter spaces. It's like podcast, okay? It's like a psychology podcast. Every single Twitter space that ICT does, I listen to it to the end. It's a psychology session for me, okay? He's not talking in boring stuff. He's not job owning. He's literally talking to you about your emotions. He talks a lot of that, a lot more, okay? So yeah, he was my inspiration. Every single time I thought like I was quitting, his podcast, his Twitter spaces helped me to remain consistent in my trading, okay? So that's how I did it. It wasn't hard. Sorry, it wasn't easy. It was really hard. And the first thing is that you will have to consistently show up, okay? How people do it, they will show up one day, the other 2 days they're not there. Then they will show up another day, then they're not there. Bro, you will have to show up every single day. If you are doing that, trust me, you will be successful in just a couple of months. They say, okay, it will need 2 years, 3 years. Trading won't need that. Once you learn how to control your emotions, that's it. That's the holy grail. You got it, okay? After that, you will start making consistent money. That's how I did it, okay? None of you know my real trading age, like for how long I've been trading. If I tell you guys, you won't believe. So I'm not gonna share with you all. But you are seeing the result here, okay? I've been calling markets in live in front of you for like last 2 months, and you are seeing it. You're seeing the consistency. I make more money. I win more trades than I lose. So that's the breaker block that I'm watching on US100. Not that I'm looking for a setup, but we are getting close to our macro, 920 to 930 macro. Let's see if price respects this breaker block or generates another breaker block inside this higher time frame breaker block. Okay, we have a high here. That's the swing high. That's how far I'm expecting price to go. If it wanna deliver towards the buy side liquidity, then this is gonna be our destination to expect lower prices. This is gonna be our last line of defense. Okay, price is reversing from this bearish order block. Okay, I still need more confirmation. That's not enough for me. These are like our bearish order blocks. If price is reversing from here, that's enough for me to look for a setup, but it's not doing that. Let's wait for this candle to go below these bullish candles. Okay, we have this fair value gap here, 50-minute fair value gap. We can use this fair value gap as an inversion. Once price goes below it again, this is a failed fair value gap right now. Keep that in mind. If price is coming all the way down and hitting this fair value gap, it may work as an inversion towards the buy side liquidity. So I'm just gonna wait for price to go inside our macro zone, and then I will have a clean analysis. What is Falcon? Jesse, what are you talking about? Yes, Kimmel was also in Falcon. What Falcon? FX Hunter is saying life is too short for ICT spaces. Then life is too short for you in trading, bro. Your trading length is just 1 month. After 1 month, you will just vanish, okay? FX Hunter, you are blocked. Glad to see you back, Sheikh Ghazi. I'm gonna block whoever I want to, whoever I don't like. Okay. There's a guy that bought my membership and he's asking, okay, King of Darkness. Bro, I hate those kind of things. He's saying, hi, can I sell now US100? Really, bro? Okay, so as I told you guys, I want to see price showing willingness to go below this failed fair value gap. Okay, that's a CB and it failed. I want to see price going below it. If price is not going below it, it can just use this fair value gap as inversion and it may hunt the buy side liquidity. I'm still waiting for the time. I told you guys that's our bearish order block and price can reverse. Our last line of defense was this swing high. Price didn't reach there, and I can see that price is dropping from this breaker block. We do have target, this relative equal low. This is a easy target. Okay, this is a easy peasy 2R right here. I'm expecting to see price going a lot deeper. Let's just wait for price to go inside the 920. That after that we can execute. Okay, not right now. Today I'm just gonna follow rules strictly. Today is a day I should avoid trading. If I'm trading, I'm only gonna trade by following the rules. Nah, that's not an NFP that I was expecting to see. Okay, folks, like I was expecting to see a lot more volatility with a lot of volume and all this stuff in NFP. What happened here? It's just a normal movement, okay? I really don't like it. This NFP movement, I was expecting a lot more volatility like FOMC, but anyway. And high impact news just became boring, okay? Like we expect to see a big movement, big beefy movement on indices, but very rarely we are seeing it in high impact news. Only in FOMC it moves like aggressively. Other than that, it's just a small move, just couple of points, and that's it. Really, I'm not here to see that. I'm here to see a lot of volumes. Yes, Hims, if you see a breaker block on 3 minute or 1 minute time frame and it's going with your narrative, then yeah, you can execute in those time frames. I'm looking at this 50-minute breaker block, but once I get the confirmation, I will execute in 3 minute or 1 minute. So I really want to see this breaker block delivering towards sell side liquidity. This is our bearish order block from 50-minute chart. Negative order block. (15-minute) and it's just like 2 minutes away from our macro to start. Price generated relative equal highs here. So that's the reason I'm not executing right here. Okay, I want to see price going below this inversion. What inversion? This failed fair value gap, this failed CB. If price is not going below that, the same CB will work to support price towards the buy side. Okay, it will work as a resistance. That's why I'm not engaging right now. Yes, Morgore, you are right. That's why I'm waiting. I'm building a narrative here. Dimash, I think you don't understand. Breaker block on 50-minute chart. So what does it mean? This breaker block will deliver towards the sell side. So if this breaker block is confirming me that it wanna deliver towards the sell side, which it didn't yet, then I'll drop down to the 3-minute, 1-minute time frame. There I will look for a setup, okay, that will target or deliver towards the sell side liquidity. That's how I get the narrative from the higher time frame. So price hit our order block again. We are inside of our macro right now, 920 to 930. We are inside of our macro. I want to see this candle just aggressively moving towards the sell side and closing below the inversion. It may not happen this candle, but next candle, I want to see that. That's what I'm favoring to see. Because do you see a fair value gap here? That's a small 3-minute BC right here. Price came all the way down, hit the BC, and now it's reversing. And we do have relative equal highs here. Okay, so That's the reason I'm still waiting for more confirmation to see a short. I do see targets on buy side liquidity. And if price is like hunting buy side liquidity, then that's our breaker block that's our bullish breaker block. Lower low, new lower low, bullish breaker block. Price closing at the spot above the breaker block, generated a fair value gap inside the breaker block, hit it perfectly, then it's moving towards the buy side. Do you guys see the logic behind me waiting for the perfect time to execute? Yeah, because of that, because of other confluences. Okay, so I need a clean analysis to execute, and I don't have it yet. Nico is asking, are macros intraday seasonals? Macros show up every day. It's just a period, time period, so time is not changing, right? So time will always be there, so macro will always be there. Why is this 50-minute order block? It's a bearish order block. I don't know how do you see order block, but that's how I see it. Where is it? Okay, 50-minute chart. This is the sorry, not this one. This is a bearish order block. Look at that, how price is rejecting from this order block. Okay, that's what I want to see, but I want to see price closing going below this inversion. US30 gonna hunt buy side liquidity, so I'm not favoring to see short right now on US30. Okay, I do see a breaker block forming on 3-minute chart on US30, but at the same time price left relative equal highs above, so I'm favoring that. Yeah, it didn't become choppy, just like in high resistance liquidity run. We know our drawn liquidity is below here, so it's just chopping around. Now let's see, price right now is waiting for time to present a clean move. So now we'll have to predict what time it wanna deliver. Okay, it can deliver inside of our macro, which is right now 920 to 930. If it's not delivering that towards the sell side liquidity inside our this macro, then we have another macro where price can reverse. So two possible macros where price can reverse. So let's just wait and see which one price chooses. Maria, it takes time. There's no shortcut in mastering emotions. It will take a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of emotional breakdowns to master emotions. What emotions I'm talking about? It's not like you are mastering everything. Your greediness, impulsiveness, revenge trading, that's the main three problematic emotions that we traders face in our trading. So yeah, that's it. If you are not revenge trading after losing a trade, then you should know that you are slowly mastering your emotions. If you're not getting sad after losing a trade, then you are mastering it. So yeah. So do you guys see the logic behind me waiting and not pushing the button after as soon as I saw the rejection from the order block? Okay, that's how I see chart. It may be a little bit difficult for you to look at it the way I'm doing it, but once you spend time with me, then you will learn it. Okay, it's not that hard. It just takes a little bit of time. Okay. I think I won't find any setup to trade today. Our order block is not valid anymore. If we have a stop hunt here, then this breaker block is still valid. Suppose price coming all the way up, going above the swing high and then dropping, I can still take trades by just following that, but it's not happening. Price generated relative equal high, is showing willingness to move towards the buy side liquidity. Okay, that's an inversion here. If you don't know how to look at inversion, that's a live inversion that you are looking. That's printing right now. Okay, why is it an inversion? It's a failed fair value gap. That's a CB. So we all know a CB is here to provide support for price towards the sell side liquidity. But what did this CB did? It failed to do so that. Okay, so this is not a valid order block anymore. I think price will hunt buy side liquidity. Where is our buy side liquidity? Our buy side liquidity is resting above each of these candles. So we don't have any valid order breaker block anymore. What I do see is price hunting buy side liquidity here. That's our 50-minute inversion. I think it's a 50-minute inversion. Yeah. So do you guys see how price used the failed fair value gap to get support towards the buy side liquidity? In 50-minute time frame, you may not understand it or you may not see it. Like this is a fair value gap that turned in. This is a failed fair value gap that is providing resistance for price towards the buy side liquidity. Now it was supposed to provide support for price towards the sell side liquidity, but it failed. Now it's working as a resistance. Okay. So suppose resistance is my trading model. It's not an NFP dead, then I would have pushed the button here, targeting this relative equal high. Okay, that's how you save yourself from taking a trade, a false breaker block trade. Okay, that's why I always tell you guys, don't focus on the pattern, focus on the narrative. I built a narrative here. I marked a breaker block. Okay, it was a failed breaker block. It wasn't a valid breaker block. But did I execute it? No. I was focusing on the narrative first, not the pattern. So still, let's see. I told you guys this. If price is doing a stop hunt here, okay, then we will still have a valid breaker block. Price will have to go above this breaker block to like deactivate it. But what I think is now the price generated relative equal highs here, we do have relative equal highs here. I think 930 Judas will happen towards the buy side liquidity. US30 looking good, you know. So I'm just gonna leave the NASDAQ chart and I'll move on US30. Okay, for me to expect a ideal short, it would have been good if price is just hitting the new week opening gap and then reversing early. So now that it's reversing early, I need more confirmation to push the button. Let's see if I can see it or not. Nah man, I don't see it. I don't see the confirmation for me to sell, because we have a swing high here which is relatively equal to this swing high. Then we have a new week opening gap above here. It doesn't matter, it's a filled new week opening gap, but price may just want to revisit this gap again. So I'm not gonna push the button inside the 920 to 930 macro. I'm gonna wait for the next macro to start, and only after that I'm gonna do it. Okay, this 3-minute breaker block is not valid. So do you guys see why I told you guys not to focus on the pattern? We are not a pattern trader, we are a narrative trader. Okay, focus on that narrative, build the narrative. If you have the narrative correct, setup will always be there. Okay, you don't have to worry about a setup forming, or if it's forming today it may not form tomorrow. Every single day a breaker block will be there, every single fucking day. Don't trust me, I'm showing it to you every single day. I may not live stream it, I'm showing it to you on my Telegram group. So if you're not there in my Telegram group, you can join. The link is in the description below. Nice question, J Alex. How did you build your capital for trading? By working, by being a slave and working in a factory for 8 hours. doing overtime shifts in weekends. So that's how I built my capital. I was also paying my own tuitions in my university, so I wasn't getting money from my parents. Okay, so yeah, that's also there. To the moon, Thomas is saying. To the moon. Yeah, not to the moon. We know where it can go. We have a daily BPR resting on the daily chart on US30, so price can go up there. And look at that. Look at this delivery here. 9:30 delivery from the inversion. Okay. Sorry, I'm looking at US500. Oh my god, I want to see US1 NASDAQ. Look at US NASDAQ. What did I told you guys? We saw a breaker block, we didn't execute it in it. Why? Because of the narrative. Do you guys see the inversion working? Some of the folks will show up tomorrow in my Twitter feed when I will share like an inversion template. They will say, okay, it's not an inversion. I get you, but look here. Price agreed with me that that's an inversion. Failed fair value gap, turned into inversion, relative equal highs above. It can be your model, okay? You don't need a breaker block to be your make your model. Inversion can be your model, just like this. A failed fair value gap turning into inversion, then delivering towards the opposite side. What do you see here? Price. The same thing. Rewind it. I literally was preaching to see price deliver towards the buy side liquidity from this inversion, and it did that. I told you guys 9:30 Judas will deliver towards the buy side liquidity, and it did that. We have our order block mean threshold right here. Okay, so let's see if price is reversing from this mean threshold of the order block. Okay, when I started my stream, I told you guys that I want to see NFP at NFP price delivering or hitting this mean threshold order block. It didn't. It's doing it right now. So we have our relative equal lows down here, so we can expect to see a reversal from this order block mean threshold. So let's just wait for our next macro to start, and then we can look for a setup. Do you guys see how I avoided a losing trade here? That was a beautiful setup. Okay, that was, to be honest, it was a beautiful setup. Price cleared out equal high, provided major level of buy side liquidity, hit a fair value gap. So a lot of you right now was pushing button here. Okay, you saw it. Okay, you saw a valid breaker block, then you push the button here. It followed every one of our rules, but at the same time it didn't match with the time. So that's the reason I tell you guys, wait for the time, wait for the macro to start, then we'll look for setup. Not until then. Okay, inside of our macro, price generated inversion, this failed fair value gap. Okay, then inside our macro, price respected this inversion. So inside the macros, you can look for a breaker block setup, you can look for an inversion setup, but specifically one. Okay, don't look and try to trade with everything. It won't happen. Okay, it will mix your mind with everything. Your mind need to be in one thing, focusing on one thing at a time. If you are expecting a breaker block setup to form inside a macro, then only look for a breaker block setup. If you are looking for an inversion, a fair value gap, then only look for that. They will form. Okay, they will show up every single fucking day, every single day, just like it did here. Okay, so price hit our order block mean threshold right now. I'm just waiting for a reversal. This is a big beefy candle. Really, is it NFP right now? I think the NFP is delivering right now. I wanted to see this movement happening in NFP, but it's happening right now. Why? Look at that. Okay, price respected my analysis. I told you guys that I want to see price reversing from this fair value gap, then hunting buy side liquidity. It did that, but it's doing it inside of our macro, not in NFP. Why? I just want to know why. It's a big why. Okay, so our buy side liquidity is resting above here. New week opening gap, no signs of reversing from this new week opening gap. So our nearest level of liquidity is this 4-hour fair value gap that I showed you guys. So that will be a place from where we can expect to see a reversal. Okay, so let's see if price is doing it or not. Keep looking at NASDAQ. Okay, we are expecting to see a reversal on NASDAQ. So yeah, if price is doing that and if price is generating a breaker block inside our macro, we still have like 20 minutes. So in 20 minutes, if price is generating a breaker block in NASDAQ, we will take it. Which broker did you open your first live account and would you use them again? I'm still using it. It was forex.com. Okay, sorry, I was with like the Henko trade. You guys heard about it? Henko trade. Yeah, I was trading with them. Then their spread wasn't that good on US30. Then I moved to forex.com. They are like a regulated broker and they're not like Henko trade. Henko trade, you know, don't need anything. You don't need any documents to submit. But in forex.com, you need a lot of documents like your tax report, your SIN number. If you have it in Canada, we have it. So all of that stuff, and you'll have to submit your bank details. What's the benefit with the forex.com? They have a raw spread. It's like 2 or 3 tick in US30 mostly if there's no news. And the main reason behind me using them as my main broker is because they approve the payouts like in a day, and in a day that payout hits your personal bank account. Okay, so when I'm doing my tax files, it helps me a lot if I'm showing the funds from my bank account rather than showing it in a crypto fund. Okay, so if I'm like transferring, like suppose making a withdrawal in my Coinbase account or other crypto platform, then I'm transferring that money into my bank account, I'll have to write a reason from where did I got that money. What forex.com is doing, they're doing that from my side. They after a year when I'm gonna be submitting my tax file, they will be doing it for me. Okay, so my tax files are getting a little bit easier with them, so that's why I use it. In Canada you cannot escape tax. In other countries you can, but in Canada it's not available, so we'll have to pay tax, and that's how I do it. Look at the new week opening gap. Okay, drop down to the lower time frame. Look how price is using this new week opening gap, just as I teach you guys on breaker block how to look at the breaker block. Okay, once price closes a candlestick body above or below the breaker block, that's when we engage. The same thing happens with new week opening gap. You already saw it here at this price action. Now look at it again. Okay, we have our buy side liquidity here. Our liquidity is resting inside this CB for our fair value gap. So now let's see if price is using this new week opening gap as a support towards the buy side liquidity or not. And wait for a breaker block to generate on NASDAQ. NASDAQ is showing willingness to reverse from the order block mean threshold, monthly order block mean threshold. What bias? Bias is nothing. Price, I don't know how people can trade with one specific bias. Okay, if I see a target, I target that, and that's my bias. That target is my bias. If price is not delivering in that target and it moved away from the target, then I'll look for other confirmation why it moved. Okay, and if I see like a strong confirmation, then I will move my bias from a short to a buy. That's how I do it. So a bias, you can stick with a bias and you can trade. I'm not like saying like you cannot trade, but I don't know how people trade. Okay, you can trade, but I don't know how do you do it with one single bias, because my bias is bullish. As you guys know that I want to see price clearing out relative equal highs. When I started my stream, I told you guys that on US30, but at the same time I'll take a setup by looking for shorts. Okay, I'm doing the opposite thing. I'm doing the thing against my bias. So do you guys see how price used this new week opening gap to get support towards the buy side liquidity as soon as it closed the candle's body above it? Same thing goes with inversion, order block, breaker block, every fucking ICT concept, and no one talks about it. Why? I never heard anyone saying me, okay, once price closes a candle's body below the fair value gap, then engage at the next candle. Once price does that with new week opening gap, do it. Once price does, do it with breaker block, do it. Why no one mentioned that? Everyone keep it for their private secret, huh? They think that's the holy grail. If you know that, and then you will become profitable. I don't believe that. I can share my own personal trading model, which I did, breaker block. I still don't believe like people can make money with it, because they will think and look at it as a pattern, and that's where they will fail. Okay, it doesn't matter if you know. If ICT comes out to us and shares this enigma, then still you won't make money in just one day. You will have to spend time with that enigma. That's what I think. You will have to understand it. You will have to understand the narrative behind it, and then you will be able to make money. And once you understand that, you will start believing like a pattern, a strategy is not the holy grail. It's the narrative, it's the emotions. So I told you guys that's our liquidity level, and I'm gonna expect to see price reversing from here. Look at NASDAQ. Okay, NASDAQ is looking way more clear compared to US30. This down close candle will become our breaker block in future. Okay, higher high, new higher high, down close candles here. We are getting close to our macro 950 to 1010. Once you start looking at chart like this, folks, like waiting for time to unfold the setup, and then when you see the setup forming inside of that time zone, you are already by yourself conquering one emotion inside you, which is patience. That's why I tell you guys, focus on breaker block model. Okay, inversion model, you guys saw it. A fair value gap model, you guys saw it. But a breaker block is way more defined in details with time. Okay, just like ICT shares silver bullet, we expect to see a fair value gap forming inside what time? 10 to 11. Same goes for breaker block. Look for breaker block to form inside our macro. Okay, that's how you do it. So higher high, new higher high. This is our breaker block. Do we have target? What do I mean by target? Unfilled fair value gaps. We have a big beefy fair value gap here. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna measure this fair value gap, and I'm gonna wait for price. Sorry, I'm gonna target the midway and the lower quadrant of this fair value gap, as it's a big fair value gap and we don't have nearest liquidity level. Okay, I just want to get done by getting 2R. If I'm targeting right here, it will be a 5R trade. That's what I don't want to do. I'm happy with whatever I'm making. Okay, and whatever I'm making is more than what I used to make in a day from my work, so I'm satisfied. Okay, my plan was to quit the job. I did it. Now I'll slowly trust in the process and then become the rich. So this is the midway of this fair value gap, and this is the lower quadrant. These two levels is where we can target. Okay, I don't have lower quadrant set up. 0.25%. Be patient. Okay, folks, don't rush. There is no rush. Let's see if price gives us an entry, or is it just gonna move towards the... Okay, I got the entry. Sell 10 contracts, done 5 minutes earlier before our macro started. Okay, higher high, stop loss above the breaker. Target, I think 2R will be here. Okay, I'll take a partial in the midway. You wanna see my execution? Yeah, I know it's aggressive, but that's how I do it. Just right when price touched this breaker block again. That's where I executed. Our target partial will be here. That's the ideal partial. I'll take like 4 contracts off here. 4. And our TP is here. I think it's a 2-hour trade, right? Here. 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 It's more than a 2-hour. It's a 3-hour trade. Wow. So a partial is here. Partial incoming. Higher high. Partial done. Should I let this trade run towards the sell side liquidity? Where is my stop hunt? Yeah, this is the stop hunt. Higher high. New higher high. Down close candle breaker block. After I told you guys that I'll look for setup, okay? Where did I told you guys that I'm gonna look for setup? After price hits the mean threshold, okay? After that I'll look for setup, and look at that, okay? Look at that, folks. I waited for my setup to show up and I executed accordingly. Execution was here, right exactly here. 3R delivered. I made money. Saw it. And the folks who are saying be humble, I'm just gonna block you all who are saying be humble. I'm not here to be humble. Okay, be humble for losers. Yeah, I think I should have holded this trade after taking the partial and let it run for this year. It would have been like a 7-hour trade. Wow. No, I don't need that much money. In future, I may think about it, but 3R with a partial, it's like a 2.5 hour. So I'm happy with it. I'm literally done for today. Okay, folks. And I got the trade. Breaker block. So I was on 1-minute chart. Okay, just focus on how I built the narrative. Okay, you know how a setup will form. You know the pattern: higher high, new higher high, then price close a candle's body below. I engage the second candle. That's it. That's how a pattern works. Pattern is not important, folks. I'm telling you, all of you, again and 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 again. Focus on narrative. Okay, what's the reason behind me executing here and getting a successful trade here? Why? Because I built the narrative first. I waited for time to present. I waited for the setup to present itself. Okay, my execution was early. It doesn't matter. It was near, okay, near to the time zone, and it did make profit. I told you guys that I want to see price rejecting from the order block mean threshold, and I executed according by following that. Okay, when I started my stream, I told you guys I told you guys that I want to see a reversal from this order block mean threshold. Price reached it, hit it beautifully. Then I told you guys, okay, I was looking at US30. I was mentioning it again and again. Wait for a breaker block to form. Here, did a breaker block formed on 1-minute chart? In 3-minute chart, it's not visible. When I say I'm gonna trade on 3-minute and 1-minute chart only, I'm looking at both chart. Okay, sometimes what happens is, like on 3-minute chart, a breaker block is cleaner, where in 1-minute chart it's not. So what I do, I just follow 1 minute. I have a narrative. I have a strong narrative which will hunt relative equal lows, as I see here, and you guys saw it. Don't believe it, it happened live in front of you. I know it feels like I'm backtesting or something, but look at the execution. Where did I execute it? Once price closed a candle's body below the breaker block, and as I teach you guys, small retracement. Okay, small, very small retracement. If I point it out in a pattern, then it will be something like this: higher high, new higher high. Okay, then price is dropping. This drop right here, this is our last the candle that closed below the breaker block. Then price retracing back to the breaker block, small retracement. Okay, small tap, then that's it, your entry done here. price will become aggressive, and in just couple of minutes you will be done. This trade here, it was like 2 minutes, I guess. Not even 2 minutes. How long was it? Let me see the time. Really, it wasn't even 1 minute. It was 2 minutes. Okay, each of these candles are 1 minute candle. What am I saying? So 1 minute, 2 minutes. In 2 minutes, I'm done. I'm done making money. What I was making, working for 8 fucking hours. Right? I'm satisfied with one trade. So if you guys enjoyed it, can I expect to see a thumbs up from you? Do I deserve it? 300 people watching and only 100 likes. What's up, folks? I don't deserve a thumbs up from you. Now the question, if I deserve it, then hit it. If I don't deserve it, then just let it go. Okay? Anyway, let's focus on our chart. 9:51. Our macro is starting right now. Our breaker block got activated before our macro started. Okay? So that was the whole execution as you guys saw it. The whole business left here. So I'm just gonna take a screenshot for my journaling purpose. Now after I post this on my Twitter, some of the ICT trader will come on and they will say, okay, that's not a breaker block, that's something else, and they will complain. I laugh at them. Email Vodja Ekipa is saying, HYDRA, why currency.com instead NQM 2020? They all move the same. It doesn't matter currency.com, forex.com, or any other broker. They all move the same. And what I found is currency.com provides a cleaner setup. That's why I don't trade on NQM. I follow the currency.com chart. I don't know. It's just my personal preference. Okay. It's not like a specific reason that I don't look at NQM chart. It's there, NQM is there, I just don't use it. And I always like your comment, Sheikh Ghazi. Anyway, that was the whole narrative on US100. Let's look at US30. What is US30 doing? Getting orders from the New Week opening gap, hitting our 4-hour fair value gap. Okay, now is a good time, not an ideal scenario. Our ideal scenario to look for short was from this order block mean threshold, monthly order block mean threshold. Do you guys see how I use the higher time frame? I hope you got the answer. Right here, it's not an ideal scenario for us to expect a reversal, but yeah, we can see a reversal from here. Okay, that's why I marked it, because let me explain the logic. Why am I expecting to see a reversal from here? Why not from all the way up where you expected price to go, HYDRA, right? From here, we have a daily BPR. Below this BPR, that's an unfilled daily BPR, okay? Below this unfilled daily BPR, we have relative equal highs. Relative equal highs right here. So why, HYDRA, are you not expecting price to reach all the way up here and then expecting to see a reversal? Why not? Because price generated relative equal lows, a lot of relative equal lows. So I'm not expecting to see price dropping all the way down here. No, I'm only expecting to see price offering short-term liquidity. What do I mean by short-term liquidity? I'm gonna explain it just right now. So our short-term liquidity is this unfilled fair value gap. Okay, we just got a tap inside this fair value gap, so a revisit of this fair value gap is possible. Then we have relative equal lows down here. Our 930 Judas that happened, it happened towards the buy side liquidity, but at the same time, okay, at the same time price generated relative equal lows at 930. So a easy 2-hour target will lead us here. Okay, if price is rejecting from this 4-hour fair value gap. What is mean threshold? Mean threshold is the midway, like the 0.5% of a concept, of a ICT concept. Like suppose order block, 0.5%. We measure the order block, then the 0.5% of that order block, we call it as a mean threshold. And what's so significant about that mean threshold, right? The significant part is that price likes to react from those levels, like the mean threshold of the order block, consequent encroachment, which is 0.5% of a big wick. Okay, I hope you got it. If you haven't, then you can go in my mentor's channel, you can watch his videos there, and I hope you will understand. Yeah, the other order block mean threshold was on monthly chart. If you just simply gone to the monthly chart, you will see it. Let me hide the execution. I was literally shorting the whole freaking throughout the whole month in this bullish price action. I was looking for shorts. Okay, in this bullish price action, I was looking for shorts. Anyway, where's the mean threshold? I'm just gonna hide my settings, and this is the order block. This is the bearish order block. Okay, above this order block we have relative equal highs, but this is the bearish order block. The mean threshold of this order block is here. Look at NASDAQ now. Look at NASDAQ right now, what NASDAQ is doing. Where is NASDAQ delivering? Where? Okay, I told you guys that I should have holded till down here, but it's okay. I'll find another setup tomorrow with the same repeating setup. Okay, the same thing will repeat tomorrow, so there's no reason for me to regret. I followed my rules. I did execute it according to the rules. I knew that my drawn liquidity is down here. If you think like I'm doing something in hindsight, I'm not. I literally told you guys and outlined this level to you all before price reached here. Okay, I told you guys that that's our drawn liquidity, and price hit the order block, dropped down. I hold it this long, only 3 hour, but price delivered like 7-hour trade from this breaker block. Do you guys see power of breaker block? Here without a breaker block you will not see any setup, but there's a breaker block setup. Okay, breaker block here, breaker, that's the ideal breaker block. Okay, that's how you want to see a breaker block delivering. If you miss your chance of entry here, that's it. Breaker block will not, a ideal breaker block, listen carefully, a ideal breaker block will not give you a chance once it just moving. Okay, look at that, look at the movement from this breaker block. After this breaker block got activated, price beautifully closed the candle's body below the breaker block. When do we engage? We engage at the next candle. Look at the aggressiveness, look at it in just 5 minutes. Okay, like 10 minutes, anyway, whatever the time is, I think 20 minutes. In 20 minutes price delivered 7-hour with ease by following this breaker block setup. Do you guys see it? Where was my stop loss? Where was it? Why am I saying 7-hour? How can this man predict a 7-hour trade? My stop loss was above here, which is so tiny compared to the price action that we saw here. Right here it was a 3-hour trade. Right here it was a 4-hour trade. right here. It's a 10-hour trade. It's not a 7-hour trade. Really, it's a 10-hour. Wow. Look at the movement. And then look at my execution. Some of them, okay, so a part of me still inside is like hoping, why didn't I hold? Okay, but that part is not strong. When that part is talking to me right now, I'm laughing at it. Okay, it's still there, I feel it, and I'm laughing to it because that part is the impulsive part. Okay, what part is more strong inside me is the part that I followed my analysis. I closed my trade by following my analysis in profit. I'm happy with it. Like suppose 6 or 7 months ago, I would have been really sad. Okay, if I was talking with my friends, I would have been like, okay, oh my god, why didn't I hold it? I had a clean analysis, why didn't I hold it? When I have a clean analysis, price hits it. When I don't, I hold my trades, and then price don't hit it. Price hits my stop loss. Wow, I'm a loser. That's what happens with a newbie. I know all those emotions, I was in there, but slowly, stage by stage, okay, by doing tape reading and all that good stuff, you stop hoping. Okay, once you do a lot of tape reading, you will know that it's very likely for price to reverse from this zone here. Okay, why? Because on higher time frame, that's a big candle. We had higher liquidity up there. Okay, but this big candle dropped aggressively. Anyway, let's look for another setup. I told you guys that this is a place from where US30 can reverse. Okay, the folks who are following me since the beginning, I'm not just telling you right now that that's a place for price to reverse. No, I literally told you guys when I started my stream. So price reversed from here, it generated relative equal highs here. So don't expect like it's going to hunt sell side liquidity all the way down here. It will come back. So now we will have to know from where it will come back, from where it can come back. Okay, so let's see if price is reversing or not. I don't see any breaker block here. You guys see a breaker block here? Where? It's not here. Really? Some of you, Showrub is mentioning breaker block on Dow. Where, bro? There's no clean breaker block here. To be honest, I don't see stop hunt here. I see this candle's high. Okay, then this candle's high. Then this down close candle. I'm not gonna consider this down close candle as a breaker block. I'm trading on 1 minute chart, and then this candle is not that like clear. If I'm dropping down to like 15-second, 30-second chart, I think this breaker block will make sense. But on 1 minute, no, it's not. So I'm just gonna wait. We have relative equal highs resting above here. So what does it mean? When I say relative equal high, I'm saying strong level of liquidity is resting above here, above this swings high. So let's see how price do it. $9.44 candle is the breaker block. No, it's not. A consecutive down close candle is a breaker block. Okay, and here you should not execute from a breaker block. You do see a higher high. Okay, you do see relative equal highs here. So what's the logic behind shorting here? We know price should reverse from this place, but yeah, we still have a higher time frame target. We still have strong targets here. Look at on 3 minute chart. This level is way too clean for me to short. And price is not respecting that breaker block, 1 minute breaker block. It's just respecting this 3 minute fair value gap. There's no breaker block. So this is a BPR right here. I'm just gonna hide the execution and all that. So this is our BPR. Let's expect to see a reversal, like trend continuation from this BPR here. That's a big BPR. Wow. And it's visible on 5 minute chart. Fair value gap here, fair value gap here. So that's a balanced price range. And price may just hit this BPR and then reverse. If it's reversing, where can it go? Okay, that's how I ask myself question when I'm deciding bias. Where can price go? If price wanna reverse from this BPR, okay, I know that BPR is a gigantic pool of liquidity, then where can it go? Do I have a target? I do have a target. I do have this 4 hour unfilled fair value gap here. So that's what I can target. Now let's see from where inside this BPR price can reverse. Okay, so which one should I mark? I'm gonna mark this candle here. Extend it out on time and measure this inversion, measure this BPR. Like this. So from these two levels, 0.25 the lower quadrant and the midway is from where I can expect to see a reversal in BPR. So if price is reaching all the way up here, suppose in between any of these levels, I'll look for a short again on NASDAQ, and it goes with our silver bullet model. 10 to 11 we expect to see a silver bullet forming and then delivering towards the sell side. Okay, the folks who expected these to become breaker block, it wasn't a breaker block. Now do you see the logic? Whenever I outline a breaker block in front of you, you may not agree with it. Okay, price will. When I say this is not a breaker block, you may not agree with me. Price will, just as it did here. Okay, a lot of you I see like mentioning about the 15-minute breaker block on NAS. Okay, I think I didn't talk about it. I do see it, higher high, new higher high. This down close candles becomes our breaker block, but I'm not gonna use it as a breaker block as price has a strong level, strong PDRA above this breaker block. Okay, for me to sell again, price will have to come back all the way up here. I'm not gonna sell from this breaker block. I do see it, but I also do see a stronger PDRA right here, which is BPR. So a revisit of this fair value gap of this BPR will be ideal scenario for me to expect short, not from this breaker block. This is something, once you spend time with me, a long time, This is something you only know after that, okay? Once you have a strong PDRA right next to a breaker block, you should expect to see short from that strong PDRA, not from this breaker block, okay? That's why I didn't mention it, and I said it to you, but you just won't understand it one by one. They will have to spend time with me or spend time with the same concept again and again, look at your charts again. And me personally, I'm making your journey easier. This same thing took a long time to me and for me to understand, like that's a breaker block right here. Then why price won't respect this breaker block? Because it has a stronger PDRA right above it, which is a BPR. Okay, so that's something it took a long time for me to understand, and I'm sharing with you all for free. But it's okay, it's not the holy grail. If you think like, okay, HYDRA is telling me that, so whenever I see the breaker block and then a stronger PDRA, I will not execute and then I will have a winning trade. You won't, bro. Narrative is the main thing here, and that takes a lot of time to build, and because of the time, a lot of people quit. So I'm just gonna wait for price to come all the way up here and then reverse. It can reverse from here, I don't care. I will care if it's not reversing from here. I want to see price reaching all the way up here, this BPR, and then dropping. Let's look at US30. If US30 is clearing out these equal highs, okay, which will be inside this 4-hour fair value gap, I think that's a strong level for US30 to reverse from this fair value gap, as we have relative equal highs here. So if price is going above that, price will provide strong level of liquidity right here. At the same time, it will be inside of another gigantic pool of liquidity, which is this 4-hour fair value gap, and the mean threshold, the consequent encroachment, the midway of the PCB is here. So price took it, breaker block is down here. So let's see if price is closing candles body below here. If price is not reversing from this fair value gap, okay, keep in mind this is the target where price will go. This is the daily BPR. Okay, so it's lower low, new lower low. So let's see if price gives us a chance of entry in any of this breaker block. I think it's bullish. So this is a breaker block right here. It's 10:13. We are outside of our macro, right? So what I think is gonna be this gap is gonna be a breakaway gap, and price will just remain aggressive towards the buy side liquidity. That's what I think. Let's see what price does. This is a breaker block right here. This stuff works on every pair. The same logic, the same narrative I use on crypto. I used to trade on Forex, so yeah, but I don't anymore. So this is not a breakaway gap anymore. This become a fair value gap, and price is hitting inside of it. So let's see if price shows willingness to reverse from this fair value gap, from this fair value gap. If this price action was inside of our macro, I would have taken it, but that's a silver bullet setup, I think. Okay, I'm getting confirmation like it will hunt buy side liquidity. This is a fair value gap which is inside this breaker block. Price closed the candle body above the breaker block, generated a fair value gap. We have higher targets like the daily BPR. So what I believe and what I think is price should remain heavy towards the buy side liquidity. But anyway, let's see how price does it. We are inside of our silver bullet zone, right? So let's look for a silver bullet trade. A silver bullet trade will happen from this BPR. Trust me, it will happen. And that's a big gigantic pool of BPR. Very rarely I see BPR like this. So today I saw it. I will have experience with you all, just like you will have. I want to see how price delivers from this fair value gap. Yeah, as you can see, price is respecting this silver bullet setup, aligned with our breaker block setup. So now let's see if price is remaining heavy towards the buy side liquidity. Let's look at dollar. Dollar is just consolidating inside this fair value gap. Bro, do you guys know why I told you not to look at dollar, why I'm avoiding dollar? Look at this. This whole pair is just manipulating. It came all the way up. At the next candle it dropped all the way down here. Okay, didn't cleared out the relative equal lows, that's resting here. Then it moved aggressively towards the buy side. Then at next candle, open lower, moving towards the buy side liquidity. So no clean analysis. I don't have a clean analysis on dollar. That's what I wanted to see. Okay, when I started my live session, I told you guys that that's what I want to see on dollar. So let's just avoid dollar. Dollar is bullshit right now. Wow, it's 10:16, really? Okay folks, so I'm gonna go right now. Okay, I think this setup will fail and it will hunt sell side liquidity. I don't have a clean analysis right now. All my targets met. I wanted to see price hitting or the mean threshold of the order block, price clearing out, relative equal lows on NASDAQ, everything met. So I'm out. I don't want to trade anymore. I made my money. So that's it for today, folks. I'll catch you guys probably tomorrow or this weekend. I'll try to do a bias session again today, like tomorrow, sorry, not today, tomorrow or probably on Sunday, and I expect to see you there. I probably do a crypto stream this weekend. I haven't did like for last 2-3 weeks, so yeah, it might happen this week. It will depend on the price action, but that's it from my side today. Be careful and don't force the trade idea, okay? A setup will always be there. Focus on tape reading, building a narrative, then looking for a setup. That's it for today. Take care, folks. Peace.